welcome back to another episode of the Geeks for Geek podcast.
This is your host, Charlie Radio Williams. And this is Sean Luke.
Welcome back to another episode of the Geeks for Geek podcast.
We're here.
Oh, are we?
Yeah.
We're here. We're steers. We're ready to cheer.
We queer.
Oh, okay. See, I was trying to avoid that.
We're here and we queer.
Why is it every time you say something, sir, I'm just so complex and disturbed?
Yeah, Sean, what's wrong with you?
Wow, now it's on me? Like, what's
I think
the
it's
hell?
what you said.
It's like when you said that all the excitement in the world just got flushed down the toilet. Wow. After I literally just said I'm Mr. Excitement off the air. How dare you? How dare you, sir? You make me so excited to see Hannibal right now, and Hannibal is the number 2 least likely person. All right. Wait, who is the least likely then? You are. Wow. All right. So the number 2 became my number 1.
I can't win. I want to be number 1 or something.
You can be my number 1. Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Wow.
Appreciate it.
We're doing this? Yeah. We're doing this now? And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Geeks for Geek podcast. I'm your host, Charlie Radio Williams. And this is Sean Luke.
And I'm Hannibal. And before we start, I'm jumping in.
Oh shit.
Rest in peace, Kobe Bryant. It's weird. I'm not gonna talk. I don't think we should dominate that because it's been all over the place. Do you really bother? Does it bother you when like certain celebrities pass away? I'm so cynical. Like those type of things don't affect me. For some reason, this affects me.
You know why? Because and they talked about it. Very few people in this world can affect you emotionally. Yeah, this is a man that we saw play and grow over the past 20 years. He literally tried to surpass his idol. Who doesn't have that idea like they want to be better than the person like their mentor is? Yeah. Right? And for Kobe Bryant, right, he surpassed all of that. And yes, I did feel hurt.
Yeah.
But for me, I was more hurt over the fact of his daughter.
Yes, it's multiple children. Well. But it's weird. Like, my first love, other than cartoons and video games, was basketball. So like that's what I watched. So it's kind of crazy. Charles, what do you think? How you felt when it happened?
It's interesting because like when I saw the new media break, like I don't follow sports, so things don't really, or when people outside of like my family and friends like pass away, it doesn't really, I never feel like it affects me, even though like they're a popular icon. Yeah. What I do think about is the sensitivity level that we as human beings are on. So there were certain news that had broke that really upsetted me about it, that made me upset about like his passing. The fact that TMZ reported it prior to his family knowing or anybody else knowing. That's super upsetting. Certain people went to social media to remind us of some of the negative things that Kobe went through in his past. Including I want to say a rape allegation. I think like there comes a time where like, yes, I think like we can highlight over the past life of someone, kind of like we were talking about with Michael Jackson. And once again, I just want to iterate, like Geeks for Geek podcast is a show about geeks talking about their lives. We're not like a politics show or a show on religion but in this situation, just talking about this because this does affect our lives. We, there comes a time where like, let people grieve, let people pass. We're not saying like, let's not talk about what they've done or let's forget about like their past. No, we're just saying like in this time of loss, there are people that are close to these people. And I think it's about humanizing ourselves, reminding that we are still human. Yes. And I don't know like the full story. Like I don't know the full impact that he affected this person's life. Yeah. As far as like the allegations go or that court proceeding, or if it did or did not happen, that's something that's between that person and the late Kobe Bryant. But what I do know is if we are going to discuss a person's life, especially after they are no longer here, let's dial back a little and put ourselves into that situation and only say, you know what, let's give the family, and I think the respect really goes out to the family.
Of course.
In this situation, you can't add the fans, but to me, it's still more the family.
Yeah. Multiple people lost their lives, and I think it was a good idea.
Like 9 people total.
Yeah, it's a good idea just to take a break from social media too. Like a lot of the whole family. Yeah, so it's it was pressing. It's something that's you turn on TV, they're going to talk about it. So hopefully what we do here going to be a distraction for that type of stuff. And talk about something that's fun and interesting.
Yeah, let's talk about some fun stuff like more dying actually.
Wait, what?
The Crisis on
How do you say that was bleak?
Yeah, it is.
But he came in somewhat confident with it. They looked at us and then like, I'm
like, I'm gonna take that back. I committed.
You jumped in.
I committed, but then I committed the crime.
It's fine.
No, like I know we the last episode we actually delved into a bit Marvel TV and the fact that they kind of let the Marvel universe down a bit and the fans down. And I wanted to talk about the fact of DC TV did not let the fans down. The Crisis on Infinite Earth storyline was everything we expected it to be. To me personally, I don't know if you watched it or not. I don't know.
I watched it.
Did you see it, Hannibal?
No, I haven't. I haven't had a chance to check it.
Because he has a lot.
I'm sorry. What's the problem?
He's not speaking for me, sir.
He's like Hannibal's like 10% geek out of all of us.
I wouldn't go that low.
He's like,
okay. I don't know about that.
Hannibal's like,
How dare you? You talking for me?
Yeah, apparently he is. Yeah, apparently he's your new wife.
Because clearly I'm Carla in this relationship, bitch.
As if
Carla did. Clearly I'm talking.
But talk more about it. I may be interested, Sean.
Okay, so basically, the Crisis on Infinite Earths TV show miniseries, the 5-episode crossover, as it's called, was based off of a comic that was done by Mark Wolfman, and I think it was drawn by George Perez. I could be wrong. Basically, the story goes where there's a character named the Monitor who's trying to prevent the annihilation of all existence from a person called the Anti-Monitor, which is the antithesis of this guy. Throughout the whole storyline, what comes out is the fact that the Anti-Monitor succeeds. He destroys the multiverse, and only like a few people were left behind. In the TV show, these people were called Paragons, and they were Paragons. There were 7 different Paragons representing humanity in a different light, whether it's love, hope, humanity itself, justice, things like that.
Kind of like the Green Lantern.
Right.
Yeah.
So like they kind of like that kind of spectrum.
Right.
But with its little differences, so what happens is that the whole big thing, spoiler alert from this point on, Oliver Queen dies and becomes the Spectre. And in the comics, the Spectre has a big role of reintegrating the multi, which is exactly what they did at the end of this one. They created a whole new multiverse with whole new shows and current DC shows and movies that are out there in this world right now. One of the biggest highlights of that was watching Ezra Miller's Flash from the movies interact with Grant Gustin Flash from the TV show.
Well, just to interject there, because I think like what made that great was, I think one of the biggest comparisons with the MCU versus the DCU is the fact that whenever we looked at the DCU, it's always been the conversation of why aren't they following Marvel's lead and bridging these actors to the TV show. I think DCU did a correct job here where they didn't necessarily want to like say, okay, this actor who plays the Flash is the same actor here, but we will treat it as they're 2 separate universes. And I like that because now it kind of clears that confusion and it takes away the notion, okay, they do exist. They all exist at the same time. They're just on different Earths.
And you know what's really sucky about that is that Doctor Strange introduces the multiverse. Mm-hmm. It definitely introduces the multiverse. They speak of it throughout the whole time, and they even say that the energy that they produce with their magic is from another dimension.
Well, I think that's why coming soon with the Eternals release.
Eternals,
thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Corrected.
Yeah.
Corrected.
With the Eternals, it's that movie's supposed to go a little bit more into details on like the history of the powers, where certain idea of the costume cosmetics or like the cultural beliefs of the universe comes from. And I think that is a great approach that Marvel's taking to.
I feel like though it's a little too late though. Like, I mean, right now I think their biggest issue with the multiverse is gonna be WandaVision, because WandaVision, and this is pure speculation because we don't know the official synopsis of anything yet, right? pure speculation is the fact that WandaVision does take place in an alternate dimension within her mind. Much like House of M was created because she was so devastated
at the death of Magneto. And
not at the death of Magneto, the death of her children.
Oh, you're right.
Right? And then she created a whole world, and then seeing that world get destroyed, she literally makes the entire real world explode.
Well, so here's why I disagree with you. And I'm super excited about what they're doing with WandaVision for the simple fact that in the movies, they haven't been able to really explain and tell you what Wanda's powers are. Mm-hmm. Like, if you're looking at Wanda's powers as an outsider or as an audience member, you're like, oh, maybe it's telekinesis, or maybe it's like some form of psychic ability. Mm-hmm. She literally has the ability to rewrite and warp reality. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a very interesting concept. And I don't think that it's something that you can just put into a 2-hour movie or hour and 45-minute movie. It's something that you really need to sit down and digest. In part to that, the Doctor Strange storyline, setting him up for his next movie, which is supposed to be technically at this part Marvel's second horror movie, because you have to take into consideration that in the buyout from Fox, they now own New Mutants, which is supposed to be a true horror movie.
That trailer was amazing.
That sounds good.
And I look forward to that too, because I'm a New Mutants.
I'm going to cut you off right there because I just have to do a point of clarification before you continue, and I apologize. Kevin Feige said that it's not going to be a horror movie. It's just going to have horror elements, but it's still going to be a Marvel movie. So it's not going to have the same tropes as like the New Mutants are. And I think that's what led to the departure of the director.
Okay.
Because he wanted a creative difference. They ended up having creative differences, even though he's staying as his executive producer. Mm-hmm. So automatically right then and there, they're trying to change the whole dynamic of what the movie is.
I think it would be exciting, and it would be a different format if Doctor Strange managed to cross that line of superhero meets horror movie, for the simple fact that he deals with magic and the spiritual, and it's kind of like.
And I would love to see a creepy nightmare. Like, I want to see that nightmare literally be the Freddy Krueger of the MCU, where it literally comes and pops into your dreams and feeds into your nightmares and gives him stronger.
I'm blown away. But I guess the first question is about that. The reason why you said this creative difference is, do you think it's based on an artistic creative difference, or someone said, hey, this Marvel, we know what we're doing, putting into a horror element into it, I don't know if that's going to work well with our box office stuff. We're going to go with more traditional Marvel.
He said in a tweet before exiting, like a couple of months before exiting, that release dates are the enemy of artistry.
Yeah.
So once you put a release date on something, that's a time crunch. Mm-hmm. You cannot have artistic freedom that you want, the artistic way to express what the movie you want to envision when you're in time constraints.
How stringent is Marvel with it when they announce a date?
Oh, once they announce a date and they say that movie's coming out on that
they don't flinch.
They barely flinch.
There's been a few movies that they
unless it's like truly effective of the story. Right, because they pushed back Guardians one time.
You get nervous too. You get nervous. You're like, okay, what's happening?
Marvel was pushed. Like, I think what it is, like, they already know the budget that they're going in with the movie with. Some of it comes down to licensing, which isn't an issue anymore. Maybe Spider-Man is the only one that they technically still have. Like,
yeah, that's a little
muddy. But other than that, like, it's more of they have their budget. Now they're trying to beat certain things to the box office, and they're trying to make sure like there's always a consistency.
But see, and that's you brought a really good point when it comes to Spider-Man. Yes, Spider-Man's owned by Sony, but I feel like other than Doctor Strange, I feel like Spider-Man would have been the perfect movie or even TV show to truly introduce the multiverse into the MCU.
But I thought the Spider-Verse thing was kind of going in that direction. I mean, I'm totally ignorant. I'm not as
Into the Spider-Verse, the animated movie, was its own piece,
which has been greenlit for the
sequel 2022.
So the rumors about having the other Spider-Mans going into one movie, was that true, or that was just like a rumor that I just saw on Facebook?
It's a rumor. It's right now because we don't know what they're going to do with the new movie.
Right.
They haven't even started production of the new movie yet.
I think. All right, so I want to do a pitch meeting right here.
Okay, pitch meeting.
All right. So here's my pitch meeting. You do the Spider-Man movie where it's Tobey Maguire, Daniel, like, I want to get it right because I don't want to say Daniel Radcliffe because that's Harry Potter.
Yo, imagine Harry Potter playing Spider-Man.
Tom Holland and the British dude,
Andrew Garfield.
and thank you, Andrew Garfield. I don't know.
He
why.
should be the last one to be mentioned,
yeah.
right?
But what I would do, Sony, if you're listening, is I would take Into the Spider-Verse and make it half animation and half live action, where Miles Morales, when he deep dives into the Spider-Verse, he actually meets the live, like, you get to see a side of him that's a live action, and he meets those other 3 Spider-Men, including adding Gwen into this mix, adding Spider-Man 2099.
Yeah.
I would keep it very simple. Maybe bring back Spider-Ham for comedy relief. If not, bring back Spider.
John Mulaney was hilarious.
Bring back Spider-Noir.
Nick Cage.
But I mean, I think I would like to see that. Like, that's my pitch, is like to do Into the Spider-Verse 2, but make it half animation, half live action.
I mean,
that's ambitious.
That is very ambitious. I was going to go the opposite direction on that.
But
I was going to use the 3rd Spider-Man movie to open up the world of the multiverse there.
Live action, regular, not any.
Start off in live action, do the storyline, right? But in order for Sony to veer away from the MCU, have him like get sucked into some kind of like trans-dimensional vortex or whatever that's been created.
But aren't there talks right now about the more recent, the next installment of the Spider-Man franchise?
Well, yeah,
being mixed with the Fantastic Four franchise.
Well, we don't know see, that's the thing. Being the fact that Spider-Man is still Sony, right? There's still a lot of limitations, at least from what I believe, there are a lot of limitations to what they can do with Spider-Man interacting with other people, especially since they haven't formally introduced the Fantastic Four or the mutants, which now there's a rumor saying that the New Mutants
are the introduction of mutants into the Marvel
Cinematic Universe. And I believe that the reshoots that they did involve them being introduced into the MCU.
Something I heard recently that would be so funny. I guess fans want to know like who is new 64 guy.
New Master
64, and they keep saying like
69.
What if new Master 69 is Deadpool?
Yo, if he is Deadpool, I'd die laughing.
That would be hilarious if Deadpool.
That would be a great introduction to him into the MCU.
And Deadpool is owned by
Fox,
which is now owned by Marvel.
It's another thing.
Now owned by Marvel, and they've already announced. They've already said through Ryan Reynolds. They said that they're doing an R-rated Deadpool 3 under the Disney banner.
That's going to be ridiculous.
Which is nice for 2 reasons. One, Disney now can officially branch out away from the kid-friendly vibes of what the MCU does, as well as the regular shows do, right? But the other thing is that now with this R-rated show, let's say this R-rated movie gets really successful, because it's Deadpool, let's face it, right? You open yourself up to new avenues of movie making. Imagine a rated R MCU film. Imagine Moon Knight comes out of the Disney Plus and into the movies.
Well, there's talks about making him. There's talks about making Moon Knight
Disney Plus, yeah, they have the show. They already like.
No. There's talks about making him a villain, making him like the new.
Well, actually, I'm hoping that Morbius becomes the villain, or at least we see Blade in a post-credit scene for Morbius.
That would be awesome.
So, I mean. Definitely in credits for Spider-Man, or the interaction with Michael Keaton.
Well, yeah, like that's because they've been trying to set up the Sinister Six for like 3 movies.
But it's happening though.
It finally looks like it's happening, and they're taking their time with it.
Yeah.
So going back to you said DC, they're able to do that. Why do you think they're successful at it? And Marvel is.
Can I take this one? Sure. So we were talking about this after the last episode, or at least last week, and I feel strongly that it starts with Agent Coulson. I think
we're talking about DC.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, it ties in. Okay. So with the Marvel MCU and the Marvel television universe, as well as, let's say, Marvel Netflix universe at this time. So Netflix, to me, did a great job in trying to incorporate the Marvel MCU, because whether if you're talking about Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, or Iron Fist, they always refer back to what happened in New York as far as the Avengers goes.
Yeah, right.
Bringing Agent Coulson into Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is what separated the two to me, because of the fact of there was a lot of talks with Disney as well as with Marvel's television studio, where it was like, you can have Agent Coulson, but Agent Coulson is dead. He's officially dead. And I think that misunderstanding that he's dead and that he's no longer a part made it feel like this had nothing to do with the MCU. Like this was an alternative reality. But then Sean was talking to me a little bit more about it because he deep dived more into the show than I did, that the idea that was already put there from the beginning, that he was a clone, wasn't just explored once, but it was explored twice in the show. And I think like they did a really poor job at that, and that's what would have allowed for all of this content to link up. Now, switching over to DC, I think DC at first didn't have an understanding of how they were going to do it, but then their writers took a step back on all teams and said, hey, you know what? We can bridge together all of our shows. We're already doing it with these crossovers by going to multiverses. You really see it first with the Flash, of him like bringing the Doctor, who was originally the first Reverse Flash,
Harrison Wells,
and then you see it with Gordon. The other Flash, Silverhelm.
Jay Garrick.
Thank you, Garrick. I'm butchering it.
I love how I'm the one that knows all these things.
You're the face for a reason.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Fuck you. But with that being said, like I think the Flash TV series did a better job at it. And then aside from them, who also kind of did it, but they did more time travel, was Legends of Tomorrow. But because it all starts with Flash and the Speed Force, and then these different universes, I think that's what allowed for DC to get a better grip on it, do their research, and bring it together.
A stronger catalyst, basically.
Correct.
Something that kind of branches everything out.
I agree. But I think the bigger thing is the fact that they took their time with it.
Mm-hmm.
DC has the rights to every single character, no matter what. Okay, even when there's like a bat embargo, as they usually call it, whenever a new Batman movie or Superman movie comes out.
Actually, the new Batman movie started today filming.
Yeah, they started filming. But technically, they actually started filming before then.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, but this time they officially.
Official.
I wonder what storyline they're gonna go with.
It's the Batman, so they're probably doing year one.
Okay.
They're probably going with the year one storyline, having Colin Farrell as the Penguin. Then it makes sense.
Okay.
Because to me, that Penguin version that they're going to go with seems like the same one they're going to go with for the Batman Telltale series.
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever played those.
No, I haven't.
You check it out. Go online, check it out. That version of the Penguin is not the waddly. It's more of like a childhood friend of Bruce, right? That's also like within a rich family, but then they took a turn for the worse. Blah blah blah. Okay. So I feel like that's what they're gonna go with for at least in my opinion, what they're gonna go for with that. That being said, even with the bad embargoes, even with all that, DC still has the complete rights to all their franchises.
Not all. Because Gotham never made it into the Crisis.
Unfortunately, yes.
We talked,
but we talked about that Gotham. Only because it's owned by Disney. Like Gotham is literally owned by Disney.
Wow.
Yeah. So with that, but a lot of it though. If you really think about it, in the opening act of Crisis on Infinite Earths, they brought back so many callbacks. You got Batman 66 with Robin as an older Robin with Ace the Bat Hound. You had Batman 89, Robert Wuhl reprising his role as the interviewer, the reporter, right? You have the Titans, which make appearance at the end as well. They bring in something new towards the end of Crisis, which is Stargirl, who's taking place in Earth 2 now, the brand new Earth 2, right? Because Earth 2 got destroyed in the Crisis before Crisis even started. The point is that they took everything and said, you know what? Instead of making everything seem the same, we're going to acknowledge that it's different. And we're going to take our time acknowledging it's different by slowly introducing different parts of the multiverse. Let's start with Earth 2, right? Let's start Let's start with Earth 2. Let's start with the fact that there's a whole futuristic type world, but the people there are the villains of their Earth as opposed to the heroes, right? That's where Zoom comes into play. Let's talk about like later on when they go into the Crisis on Earth X, where they bring in the Nazis, right? I feel like the biggest thing is that they took their time when it came to the multiverse and the fact that each world is its own unique world. And the fact that it now becomes believable that when you see all these characters like the Birds of Prey and all those others, it's believable that they're in their own world, right? And now that they've basically reconverged and created a new multiverse, right, it's now believable that these other characters, Doom Patrol, Swamp Thing, the Green Lantern Corps, they're in their own worlds, being their own entities, right? So DC has done I feel like have done a better job than Marvel has had with that. And I'm not going to fault Marvel too much about it because their narrative was always, let's get to the Infinity Stones. Then we'll worry about other stuff later.
Well, I think their approach now where they're saying, okay, we're going to break the Marvel Universe into two different worlds. We're going to give you the Galactic Universe. The Cosmic Universe. And then we're going to give you
the multiverse. Which I think will collide real soon. Here's my theory, and stop me if I'm wrong. This is a conspiracy pitch, if you will.
Stop, you're wrong.
No! It's a conspiracy pitch, right? The characters that they have now are the new Infinities. Each character, if you think about it right now, there are 3 major characters introduced into the Marvel Universe that can be considered human Infinity Stones. Doctor Strange with the Time Stone, Captain Marvel with the Space Stone, and Wanda Maximoff with the Reality Stone.
I can see that.
So I feel like the next big crossover will involve them plus other characters soon to be known for their Infinity Stone prowess, if you will.
Oh, like Nova or
Adam. Or, like even the return of like Thanos or something like that. Or, just anybody who, like, for example, Star-Lord can be the Power Stone because he's wielded the Power Stone, so he has the power.
Well, remember, he's part
he's part Celestial.
Yeah.
Right? So my theory is the way they're going into this is that instead of gathering the Infinity Stones, they gather these Defenders. And this will be the new Defender.
I'm going to add on to that. So not only do they give us the Defenders, but they give us the guy that we've been willing to see. This guy will be infinite in 2021.
Charles is pointing up in the sky.
This guy
what's going on?
will be on the campaign for 2020. No. Let's slow down. First of all, that's anime. All right. Making Yamcha great 2021 with his VP Krillin, that's something different. What I am talking about is bringing into the MCU the guy that we've all been we've all been waiting for since the Fox Disney deal, since the crappy first 2 Fantastic Four. Well, I mean, they were better than the original Fantastic Four movie that we know nobody talks about. Let's talk about the King himself, the God Almighty, the Devourer of Planets.
Oh, Galactus.
Galactus.
Very excited.
Apparently he's more excited than I am. I'm more excited to bring Dr. Doom into the MCU.
Oh, I'm excited. I'm excited for him, but I feel like because we've seen different variations of him from the Fantastic Four series, the Fantastic Four movies, and Doom, Galactus, when we did see him like in that one Fantastic Four movie, he was like a cloud of
but I feel like MCU now their goal now is to try to bring justice to characters that have been wrong.
Well, and that's why I think like us finally getting a Galactus like that soup, because think about it like this. But I feel like we got the Titan battle with Thanos, but now we're getting like this universal.
But I feel like
battle.
I feel like Galactus would be a one-off major villain. He's just a one-off. I feel like Dr. Doom would be that villain that's constantly a thorn, like a Loki. You know how Loki's always
But once
going
again,
on the
because
side?
we've seen that character before, it's not really special. But think about it like this. It's kind of like how the DCU right now is setting up for Darkseid. Marvel Universe should be setting up for Galactus.
Like you want another epic kind of villain.
Yeah, even though Marvel said they'll never do like a major like lead up storyline, like whatever storyline they're going to do is going to be like a crossover kind of movie franchise versus like, oh, let's do like phase 1, phase 2 of this big build
10-year build up.
Yeah. I kind of want to see that in that buildup that they're doing it cross, but let the major baddie be something that's more devastating than.
Yeah, I wonder why would they not?
Thanos.
I mean, it was the 10-year thing was a success. Why would they think, well, we're going to do something totally different? Because, you know what I mean? Like, you would think that would continue on, or at least a different.
You know what it is? It's more of they have better options now to releasing content. So let's look at the Defenders, right? I think prior to Disney Plus, the Defenders was a trial run to see if we can do Marvel shows on a television in a television way, right?
To me, which if they had chosen different writers and a different producer to do it, I think would have been much better. The same person that did Iron Fist did the Defenders.
Yeah, but Daredevil was great.
That's
Punisher was great.
He wasn't on that.
That person didn't do.
Luke Cage was.
Luke Cage was woke.
It was it was woke.
It was pretty woke.
Jessica Jones. The only problem was
the first season.
Well, no, the villain to me in Jessica Jones, like whoever wrote that was kind of just like she defeats him, but then she doesn't want to do away with him. Then she defeats him again. Then do away with him. Then she defeats him again.
That's a whole other thing. Because Jessica Jones, I feel like, at least when it came to the first season, was such a psychological thriller in a movie. I mean, in a TV show. Because you had this one person that was consistently psychologically breaking her, right? Or breaking her friends, or whatever the case may have you, right? And to the point where
Tennant.
he was great. He was a great villain. I'm very upset that he died. But even in death, he still haunts her in the continuing seasons. And I think that's what makes Jessica Jones itself more so of a stronger show, because it deals with psychological trauma more so than any other one of the Defender shows, right? Daredevil deals with the morality, right? Luke Cage deals with cultural, biasness.
And then there's Danny. There's
Iron Fist deals with crappy TV.
Sean has the most super fan hatred of the actor, of the writers, the show itself.
I have fan hatred because it could have been so much more. I wasn't even upset over the fact that they picked a white actor over an Asian actor, because Danny Rand is a white character, right? But they wanted to like become more woke with it.
Yeah.
So they wanted to create an Asian Iron Fist character.
And that's where I would disagree, because I feel like it goes back to that argument of. So we talked about this in the past, as far as like, introducing. I think that anybody can be Spider-Man. So like Miles Morales being Spider-Man is perfectly fine.
Right.
Spider-Man doesn't have to be a white character.
Right.
I think
for the story.
I think when you're like, okay, we're gonna make or matter of fact, I'm about to contradict myself. It's when they made Johnny Storm black, right?
Right.
No problem with that. I mean, if the movie was a shit, then whatever.
That movie was disgusting.
I think sometimes it's more of, I don't know. You know what? Let me think about this, because now I hear the contradiction in my own.
But comments. let me finish my thought. Right? I wasn't even mad about that. What I was mad about was the fact that when you watch it and when you finally see the show, it contradicts what Danny Rand is in the comics, right? It contradicts what he stands for in the comic, and it contradicts what he does regarding his company and everything like that. And it doesn't. To me, it didn't feel like a true comic book.
You didn't get that in the beginning of the first 2 seasons of Green Arrow?
Yeah. See, what happened was
you didn't get that in the first 2 seasons of Green Arrow.
No, Green Arrow, the difference between the difference between Green Arrow and Iron Fist is that within the 6th episode of Green Arrow, it finally knew what it was and changed to adapt to its own culture.
Okay.
Iron Fist refuses to adapt. How the hell did Iron Fist become a better person in Luke Cage? In one episode of Luke Cage, he became a different, much better person than he did in his own 2 seasons of the show.
And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, the Geeks for Geek podcast has to make this notification that we are restricting Sean Luke. His passionate behavior has sparked over 5,000.
You were screaming about Galactus.
I was promoting.
So
I was promoting.
Let me tell you something.
I was promoting our next galactic leader. All right. Galactic leader. All right. Not Darkseid.
Hold up. Let's stop right there. That man is no galactic leader. He's a galactic devourer. Okay? He will not lead us to anything. He will destroy everything.
I am Team Herald. I'm a harbinger. I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
Anyway,
I feel like you have a superhero or supervillain political view against and maybe we could do that on the next episode. Maybe in the next episode, I'm going to nominate Galactus as our galactic president, and we can talk about this in a debate format. And
How can you become a president? I look forward. You're going to eat?
Listen, I look forward to your debates. What I will tell you that Galactus will do for us is he's going to build that wall. He's going to make all planets pay for it.
Okay.
All right. He's going to make sure that when Earth gets devoured, that we get devoured as a whole.
Yeah.
All right. He's going to undo Thanos care. He's going to undo Thanos care. Okay. All right. Thanos care was just horrible for all of us, and that's why he failed. All right. Galactus will
do not.
Wait, Sean, what's your platform? Because
what's your platform?
What are you going to do for us?
What is your platform?
Yeah.
My platform is Doom 2020.
You're going Doom 2020?
Doom 2020.
Wait. Oh, Doom of our or Doom 2099?
No, I'm doing Doom current
MC,
well,
green,
future MCU Doom.
Okay.
Versus basically comic book Doom 2020. Ultimate Alliance Doom 2020. Right? Those are the.
Will he have a running mate?
He will. No. Doom needs no running mate.
All right. So
Doom
see there you go. Already no checks and balances.
Yeah.
Right?
What happens if Doom goes down?
Have you not seen the state of Latveria, the country that he already governs? It is one of the most it is one of the second most sovereign states next to Wakanda in the Marvel universe.
Doom is a fake Dracula who's just cast in iron. All right.
Oh, what? No.
He's a failed.
He is literally the top 3 most intelligent people in the world.
You guys are wasting good content.
Who are the other 2?
Blue Marvel. And Reed Richards.
And Galactus. Thank you very much. And that's it for this episode of the Geeks for Geek podcast. We're going to have this.
Doesn't even think like it.
First of all,
he is just
you don't know the platform that Galactus is running on. Don't act like you know my candidate. Yeah. You don't know.
I don't even know.
Because my name is Charles Heyman.
Oh, shit.
And I am the representative.
No, it's not.
Of the almighty, world-devouring, earth-destroying.
Did he have a sugar before?
Fantastic for defeating.
The weirdest part. He did not.
No.
Galactus.
I don't know.
Do we have time to talk about WrestleMania? Do we have time?
We have about a good 5 minutes.
Okay, I would like to talk about WrestleMania. Especially, I would like to give a shout out to Drew McIntyre.
Woo! Sorry.
Oh, jeez.
My head.
That was a beat pop.
I want to give a give a shout out to Drew McIntyre because you know what? He deserves it. It's been long overdue.
And you know what's funny? I didn't think he was going to win. I thought they were going to give it to Roman Reigns.
I'm happy that he has chosen to take on Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania.
Of course. I mean, the way he eliminated him.
But not only that, I was kind of upset.
But here's the problem with that. The Fiend, who's the Fiend going to face? Right? And we can talk about this at another podcast. We can definitely talk about
the Fiend is definitely, it's going to be a Danny Bryant situation. It's going to be like how
my issue with that is the fact that I think they booked the Fiend to a corner where it's like he can not be defeated. Now what are you going to do when someone does defeat him? Like it's literally the Brock Lesnar syndrome where like literally no person can really defeat the Fiend.
No, I think the Fiend is like Kane. He's really like Kane, and like he's a master destroyer. I think what's going to happen is he's going to have a new list of people that he's going to want to seek punishment.
Don't mess with him.
Yeah.
Did you guys like the Royal Rumble the way it went? The format? I just felt. I mean, that's my favorite event. I feel like Brock Lesnar knocking out guys really strong.
That bothered
wrestlers, like Big Lee. Like I didn't even.
I understood why they wanted him to be strong.
Yeah, but he's not Kofi.
13.
He beat Kane's record. I think.
No, he tied it.
He tied
and that bothered me. I did not like that writing.
Yeah,
and it was Braun Strowman.
It wasn't.
Kane still holds the record for most elimination.
Oh.
I was excited about seeing Keith Lee. The NXT International, the NXT International champion. I was happy to see him because I'm North America. I thought he was no.
Listen to the face. He knows everything.
Yeah, you do know everything. I was excited about Keith Lee. I was actually more impressed with the women's Royal Rumble. I felt like
there were better surprises. A lot of people were upset about Santino Marella.
Oh, that he
came in.
Props to Vince. Props to Vince to do something like that and not think, okay, I'm just gonna run with it. Put him out there.
But that's the thing. Like, it's not the first time they've done this. They made him miss WrestleMania, which was like such a huge controversial thing for them to do. And then they just kind of, to me, I think they kind of redeemed it.
Yeah.
Right? Because you have these two big women, Beth Phoenix, Natalya. Also, shout out to Beth Phoenix for going through with the match with that huge gash in the back of her head. Did you see the blood coming out?
She's tough, man. Yeah.
Right.
And Edge. Don't forget Edge.
I'm not even gonna talk about that because Monday Night Raw was that's just something.
Okay, so here's the thing about Edge.
But I do want to say this about the women's Royal Rumble match. As much as I was happy, I'm not happy with Charlotte Flair.
Charlotte Flair?
Thank you, Scarlett.
Wow, Scarlett Johansson?
I'm all over the place. You know how it is. Wrestlers all look alike. Anyway, I'm so upset with Charlotte Flair winning because I feel like for her to challenge Becky Lynch at WrestleMania again as a main event, we've seen it. Whether it was Charlotte, Becky.
Yeah, but we don't know that for sure yet.
So she hasn't announced her challenger.
No, because I think what's going to happen is
she's going to go against Bayley.
Yeah, but I think Shayna Baszler is going to jump into it.
How?
I don't know how. I think it's going to be like I think it's Ronda. I have a feeling Ronda Rousey is going to come back soon too. Because then they'll do like the horsewomen versus the horsewomen.
Well, I do have a question. Can Charlotte challenge Becky if they're on two different franchises?
She can challenge Becky, Bayley, or Rhea Ripley.
Oh, that's right.
Now, if she challenges Rhea Ripley, to me, that would put such validation to NXT and the fact that the growing credibility of that company. And I think that would help.
That'd be smart. Considering they still battling AEW on Wednesdays.
That's the thing.
Makes sense to do that.
They need something to push that needle forward, right? Because right now the ratings are going back and forth, right? One day NXT takes it, then the other day AEW takes it. And the one that just passed, the Jericho Cruise one, oh my God, AEW dominated that ratings.
Ooh.
Right? So, like, with that being said, like, I want Charlotte Flair to challenge Rhea Ripley. I understand why Charlotte Flair would challenge Becky because it's lead back to last WrestleMania where she wasn't defeated for the title.
Oh, that's right. She
wasn't defeated, so now she gets her redemption. But I also understand Bayley because SmackDown needs a better champion.
You know what? I think. All right. So I heard this best on What Culture, where they were saying that the problem with Bayley is you have whoever's writing her as a heel is doing just a horrible job. And now, like, she's doing that whole personality stunt that Daniel Bryan did when, like, he lost his belt and then he went to, like, that whole depressed, like, he was still doing the heel thing, but she just happens to still have the belt. I just think that they're doing, like, Bayley is capable of doing so much. Maybe they didn't need to dial her down so much from Happy Bayley, but I guess also the combination of her joining the boss
who's injured,
Sasha Banks. So But yeah, this WrestleMania was pretty exciting. The throwdown. Sorry, this Royal Rumble was. Damn, I'm just all over. You're intimidating.
What the hell?
This whole entire.
He's blaming you for his problems.
I definitely am.
It sounds real familiar.
I'm sticking to it. This whole Royal Rumble was just like it was ups and downs because once again the fight between I do like King Corbin fighting Roman Reigns. I like that fight. It dragged on too long, I felt, but I did like it.
I mean, I liked it too. It was just anytime you have like a gimmick match that involves like hardcore stuff, it ends up being great.
I love the Usos getting involved.
Yeah. Backing up their cousin.
What other matches happened? Edge returning. I like the fact that Edge returned because they're doing a build up between Edge and
Randy Orton.
And I think those are two colossal champions that I kind of want to see throw down.
It's been 9 years. Was it? Yeah, 9 years.
He's been out for 10 years.
Fucking crazy. Yeah, it was very exciting. And I didn't check the internet, so I don't know if there was something that they kind of threw out, like he may show up. But so when he came out, it was a total surprise. Sean probably already knew 6 months earlier.
No, well, okay, I didn't know 6 months earlier. I knew the day of. No, what happened was that he was actually teasing it on Twitter and on Instagram, the fact that he wanted to come back. He wanted to come back. The doctors were saying no. He was defying the doctors. And he was doing all this, right? The storyline within social media was writing his comeback. And when he did come back, it validated and vindicated everything that was going on. To me, that's how you use social media to promote.
Yeah.
Right? You use that, you do the old, will he, won't he scenario. And when he did, you saw the arena erupt. Everybody.
Yeah, everyone popped. It was a big pop.
Everyone popped. Everyone outside popped. I popped. Right? As soon as he came.
Because you always pop.
Right? Well, but I only popped for 3 things. I popped when I saw MVP.
Oh, but she's back as well.
He wrestled again too.
Yeah,
you saw like he's wearing the Punisher logo.
Yeah, the Punisher. But he had the Black Panther.
The second time I popped was when Edge came back, and the third is a double pop. Because I popped when he beat Brock, when Drew McIntyre, Claymore kicked Brock Lesnar.
The crap out of him.
Claymore kicked Brock Lesnar out and then won the Royal Rumble.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. With that being said, it's time for us to wrap up. We had a great episode. We talked about ourselves as geeks. Our condolences go out to Kobe Bryant and his to Kobe Bryant's family and all the other families that are coping right now with the loss. We talked about the Royal Rumble, and we're going to look forward to going into WrestleMania.
TV World.
Definitely talked about TV World. Next episode, we're going to deep dive into our candidates, as well as talk about Picard, because we should be caught up by then.
Please
to talk about Picard.
Please catch up. Watch the episodes.
Okay.
Because I know by the time we get back, there'll be more.
All right, down boy, relax.
Yes,
down boy. All right, and with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Charlie Radio Williams.
This is Sean Luke.
And I'm Hannibal.
And as always, we are out of here. I don't know
what's wrong with you.
Yeah.
Carmen.
The Geeks for Geek podcast with Charlie Radio Williams and Sean Luke is a presentation of Sketchfed Studios, produced by Charlie Williams and edited by Hannibal Darby. To find more episodes of the Geeks for Geek podcast, make sure you check them out at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and wherever else your podcast needs. If you need to hear Charlie Radio Williams and Sean Luke shoot the shit on any of your topics or questions, please send a tweet to the 2 Geeks on Twitter, or you can send a message on Instagram for the Geektopians. For web series, podcasts, blogs, and more, please make sure to head over to sketchfedstudios.com. And as always, stay geeky, stay you.